Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn Code with Nav. In today's video, we will see how to use profiles in Spring Boot. Before dive into it, first let's see what are profiles. So basically, every enterprise application has many environments like development, testing, staging, prod, UAT or pre-prod. Each environment requires a setting that is specific to them. For example, in development, we do not need to consistently check database consistency, whereas in test and stage, we need to. These environments host a specific configuration called profiles. So next question will come up in your mind that how do we maintain profiles? So this is simple, properties file. We make properties file for each environment and set the properties in the application accordingly. So it will pick the respective properties file. So we already covered theoretical part. We have seen what are profiles, we have seen how do we maintain profiles. Now let's go into the code part and go to the Spring Initializer website. Create a Spring Boot project. Let's say I would need Maven 1, language would be Java, Spring Boot version, any version greater than 3, and named as Spring Boot profile example. And we will need certain dependency. First one will be web. I want to create one REST endpoint, so for which we would need a Spring Web. I will need a Spring Boot dev tool. I do not want to restart my application every time whenever I do any modification. These two I guess will be enough for our demo. Let's click on generate, go to the file browser, extract this file here. Once it extracted, close this, go to the Eclipse, import this project. Let's say file, import, click on existing Maven project, then next go to the location of that specific project. Oh, I missed E in example. Okay, which is fine for us. Now go to the just create one simple class. Go to the new class. Let's say I want to create a one controller, that is profile controller, and this should be in controller package. Once we have created this class, then let's go into the application.properties file. So by default we will have only one application.properties. Go to this file and first let me give the port. So by default every Spring Boot application will run on 8080. If we want to give explicit port number, then we can use server.port, and let's say 8081. I want to run my application on this specific port, that's why I can use this key in application.properties file. I want to give the name of this project spring.application.name. let's say Spring Boot profile will be the application name for my Spring Boot application, and I want to define one key application dot message, and I will say this is primary application property property file, property for I want to print the application name here. How do we do that? Dollar and copy this key, save this file, go to the profile controller. To make any Java class REST controller, we need to put REST controller annotation on top of it, and we want to access this string value from the application.properties file. We can use in controller @value same approach, dollar curly braces and name of the key. Name of the key in this case is application.message. Copy this one, paste it here, and this will contain basically a string value, right? And this should be in a double quotes. Private string. This key will give me the value of a string type. Now let me create one REST endpoint, public. It will return me a string. Get message from application properties file, any specific name, and it will return me message. What we have done so far, we have defined one port number that I want my application to run on 8081, and application name initializing here Spring Boot profile, and I'm saying when I'm not specifying any property, any profile, please execute this one by default. Spring Boot execute this application.properties file if we are not explicitly defining in this file. What does it mean? Let me run this. We have started our application, but we didn't mention get mapping here. So this is a benefit of why I have done it, because I want to show the beauty of DevTool. Now I have done it, some modification in my file. As soon as I will say save this file, my application will start again. So basically restarting is not necessary when you are putting DevTool in a pom.xml file. Now go to the localhost 8081 and say message. We are getting the message from the application.properties file. Now I want to maintain specific profiles. Let's say this is my primary application.properties file. Now let me copy this one and make the configuration for QA. Again let me paste here for dev, and let me do the same for prod. Now we have created 3 specific properties. So whatever we are doing here on application.properties file, this will be for development profile, and for prod we can put our configuration on this application -prod.properties file, and for QA environment we can put all the database related configuration and any configuration which we are required for QA environment we can put here. Now let me change. This is a primary application property. You can say this is QA and save this one, and you can say for instead of primary it will be prod, and this is for dev. Now I want to use development branch or development configuration in my application. Then what we need to do is we need to simply use one more key here in my default application.properties file, that is spring dot profiles dot active, and we will say I want to use dev for now. Let me save this file, and dev tool give us the beauty that we do not run every time whenever we are making any modification into it. Now go to the browser. We are saying that my active profile should be dev, and in dev properties file, if you will look into the message will be this is dev application property. Now see, now I want to change my configuration dev to QA, so I need to say in my application.properties file that don't use my dev configuration, use my QA. And if I will refresh the page again, then it is saying this is a QA application property for a Spring Boot profile. And now I want to use my prod configuration. What I need to do is I need to simply say prod here, and the application.properties file, which is suffix from prod, will be executing or will be using for my further processing. Let me run this page again, this endpoint, and see this is prod application. So what are the benefits for using Spring profiles? That we can provide the solution for all the configuration which are required for my specific environment. Let's say I want to, in my development environment, I want to communicate with different database that is only for development, so we can give the configuration here. Let's say my database is XYZ, and root username is something, password is something, and so on so forth. Same thing we can do for QA environment, and same thing we can do for prod. We do not changing the code in our Java code. We have already defined one REST endpoint, and we are fetching the message application.message from application.properties file, and it is printing on the browser. So this is the beauty, and this is the benefit from a Spring Boot profile. We can give the profiles for a different environment by suffixing the environment, and we can let a Spring Boot server know that Spring wants to use prod environment, for which we need to use spring.profiles.active equal to whatever the configuration we want to use. I hope you like this video. If you like this one, please do subscribe and stay tuned for latest videos. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.